Well, we made it. We made it to 2022. Does it feel any different? I hope so. I think 2022 is going to be a year of hope. Maybe not of new beginnings, because, I don't know, we're 2 years into this pandemic. Don't know how long this is going to last. But I do feel optimistic about the new year. And I'm not a superstitious person, but I do like to start the new year with a little bit of reflective writing to manifest some new plans for a New Year's revolution. And I thought it could be fun today, as the first video back, just to talk about some of my New Year's resolutions, some of my plans for this YouTube channel over the coming months, and how that's going to affect the videos you see on this channel. I don't know about you guys, but I honestly feel like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel with this pandemic. I really hope we get to the end of this year and we feel a little bit better about where we are and where we're going than at the end of last year. Don't get me wrong, I still think we're going to live with this thing for a very long time, and it's going to affect us in many of our lives for a very long time. But I am somewhat comforted by the fact that we all share this thing in common, and that forever people will be able to ask us where we were, how old we were when we experienced the COVID-19 pandemic. And while that is greatly sad, I think it gives us an opportunity to create something that really resonates with a lot of people post-mourning the absolute devastation that this horrible virus has caused. I'm really excited to create some art of my own this year, something that will be of the time, sensitive to the time, but ultimately will lift up people's spirits, lift up my spirits. I think that's something that we all need, and I really want to make that this year. So as I mentioned, I did a little bit of reflective writing over the holiday to decide what New Year's resolutions I wanted to have, and it's always a bit of a dangerous one because you can fall down an absolute rabbit hole. You basically pick holes in yourself about every single little minute thing that you could do better. So I'm going to work out. I'm going to learn a new language. I'm going to learn that new instrument. I'm going to take hobbies that don't involve music. All of these things that I would love to be able to do, but I'm not going to be able to do them if I just add them to an already very busy schedule. So I've decided this year that everything lives and dies by timing and by making time for those particular things. So I made a fairly psychotic schedule for the entire week from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. in half an hour increments. Now, I'm not going to show this to you because it's not even worth you seeing it, but I'm just conscious of my hours. I don't think I'm necessarily going to keep to this routine, but if I can tell myself that it would be possible if I chose to get up at 7, if I chose to do that little bit of exercise in the morning, if I chose to read for a couple of hours once or twice a week, it is possible. I just don't make the time for it right now. The one thing it doesn't account for is screen on time. The amount of time I spend on my phone is eye-watering. And I notice this particularly towards the end of years where I get a little bit burnt out, I get a little bit tired, I take my phone out and I just start scrolling. It's dangerous, and to be quite honest, it's such a waste of time. I probably spend, on average, about 12 hours a week on my phone, and that's on a good week. That's time that I could be spending doing other things. The most important thing I noticed, though, is that this isn't productive time off, because I'm still exposing myself to hundreds of photos on Instagram a day or thousands of tweets. These are things that block up my brain and then make it difficult for me to fall asleep or make it difficult for me to come up with new ideas. I don't want to use chilling time as time on my phone. If I'm going to relax, I want to go and just sit with no technology at all, go for a walk. Those types of things are going to regenerate me more quickly, and I want to be a little bit conscious of the time I spend doing particular things and how I can maybe relax more effectively or work more effectively. The very first thing I do, though, when I think about writing for change is I actually make a list of all the things that I'm really proud of over the last 12 months, because I think we deserve to cut ourselves a little bit of slack from time to time. We're not train wrecks. We don't need to rip a whole new leaf and start again. We can build on the things that we did so well last year, and I think that makes New Year's resolutions a little bit more achievable. Now, with my YouTube channel, I was really pleased with the progress I made last year. At the beginning of last year, I had about 4,000 subscribers. At the beginning of this year, I've got just under 14,000, and I've accrued many views, and that's all great. But I can't really attach any emotional attachment to that because it's not something I can control really. I guess I could make videos that are slightly more relatable, but as I demonstrated in the midpoint of last year when I struggled with YouTube a little bit, I found that unless I was making videos that I would want to watch, I was just getting jaded and bored far too quickly. So I'm going to try not to do that this year. I found a really good work-life balance. I was able to make more consistent videos, and that ultimately made me enjoy making the videos more, which is really exciting. I enjoyed philosophizing about the process of creating, not just making a piece, but talking about the various aspects that go into it and how that makes me feel. I also enjoyed making more instruments for Piano Book, and I've got so many exciting projects coming up that I can't wait to share with you on the Piano Book community. One thing I'd like to do looking ahead for this year is sort of pushing out a little bit. Rather than just making videos about myself, for myself, by myself, I'd like to expand the production a little bit, make videos involving cool people in cool places so that we can all get inspired and can maybe pursue new avenues. I also want to make new sample packs with creators and instrumentalists who are specialists in their instruments and maybe get them to come in and record interesting textures or interesting hits and things like that. And this will hopefully make for better sample libraries that are more engaging and more realistic. I've also got some incredibly exciting compositional projects lined up for this year that I'm so excited to share with you when I can. I hope to be able to take you on as much of a journey through this as possible. I'm certainly going to be filming the process, but I don't know how much I can share yet. So we will come back to that at another point. One thing I did fail to do last year is to create any original music of my own. Often when I create stuff for Spitfire Audio, I get messages saying, I like the stuff with Spitfire, but where's your artist music? And the thing is, I just haven't had time for it over the last year to a year and a half. So that's definitely something I want to do this year. Whether it's an EP or an album, I don't really know yet, but I have started writing ideas and I have started talking with potential players, thinking about ways that I might fund that. And that is something that I might come back to later as a potential collaborative crowdfunding project. In the meantime though, there's lots to be done and lots of really exciting things coming soon. I've got quite a few plans for this year that I'm really excited to take you on, and I don't want to tell you about all of them yet because I want to keep some of them a little bit secret for now, but just know that there is a lot coming, and if you haven't done already, do subscribe, and I will see you again very, very soon. Next week, I'm holding myself accountable already. I'm going to do a video about how to create interesting sounds using reverbs, in particular using Seventh Heaven by Liquid Sonics. So come back next week for that. It's going to be a good one.